There is no doubt that the most obvious premonition of all, as well as the most frightening of course, is precisely the premonition of death. And we understand why, we all, sooner or later, have to die. What can be discussed, if anything, is how and when. Well, the dream you are about to see is a sort of melancholic nightmare that anticipates the sudden death of my father by a few days. It can be interpreted as the expression of something I already had an inkling of due to many small signals which, filtering consciousness, settle in the subconscious, and then germinate at an unconscious level in the dream. Yet, what is striking is the narration of the dream in question. A narrative which, as you will see, seems to have been generated in an area of the human soul that is decidedly deeper than the merely psychological one. A deserted beach stretches out under a melancholy summer sky dotted with grey clouds about to shed all their rain. Even the sea seems to be too tired and sad to agitate under the oppression of that leaden hood made of loneliness and confusion. A group of boys, about 25 years old each, wanders, apparently aimlessly, along that desolate beach. I am among them too. And for me each of them was, although not all at the same time and in the same way, a dear friend of mine, a reference figure. But what are we doing here? Without knowing why, we all start heading towards the shore of that grey silent sea. I look up from the sand, and I am surprised by the presence, near the beach, of the wreck of a large ocean liner stranded among the rocks. So majestic. So sad and lonely, just like everything else anyway. From this, a large multitude of small debris seems to unravel which the feeble waves are inexorably ferrying towards our position. Other wrecks appear near the beach. We begin to immerse ourselves in the water, precisely to meet those small drifting wreckage. At first in small scattered groups, then each following a different direction from the others. None of us are able to recognize the real nature of those small floating remnants. Nonetheless, each of us continues to meticulously inspect them one by one, looking for who knows what. At a certain point, near my position, I recognize something very familiar floating on the surface of the water. It's a book. A book with a thick, fiery red cover. Promptly, I shout to the others, "There it is. I found it." Immediately, everyone starts rallying around me. I'll take it. A strange symbol is printed on the cover. I feel like I have to turn it over, with the back cover facing me. Something inside me forces me to do it. I turn the book over. Here too I find a strange symbol, different from the one printed on the initial cover. Why on earth do I want to browse it starting from the end? I do not know. Yet, I know for a fact that this book can only be flipped backwards, from the last page to the first. I then prepare to turn the cover to the back of the book, and we realize that it is a photo album, an album that presents one photo per page, all mysteriously dry. The last photo of the album, the one next to the cover on the back of the album, depicts a very young blonde girl of about 16 years old. This is a beautiful and sunny girl, whose beauty shines through her interiority, as well as her physical appearance. Her gaze exudes happiness, desire to live, and purity of soul. Even her clothes, while enhancing her beauty, are as sober as they are chaste. Who will she ever be? I continue to browse the album backwards and, on the penultimate page, I find an equally handsome and fascinating young man. His male counterpart, I think to myself. She is still there in the photo alongside. I continue to browse backwards. The girl and the young man take turns, a photo for each, both exhibiting beauty and joie de vivre. And yet, how come? I leaf through the beginning of the album again, and something different catches my attention. A grimace of sad bitterness can be glimpsed on the young girl's face. Something that does not affect her beauty, yet so dissonant compared to previous photographs. Why never? What could have happened to her? I continue to leaf through the album towards the first page, and I realize that the photos of the young man no longer appear, swallowed up by who knows what mysterious event not witnessed by any camera. Now there is only the girl, now a woman, with a disgust that her facial features can no longer contain. The photos of her alternate this time with those of a German shepherd. Photo after photo, always proceeding backwards towards the beginning of the album, they age together, and more. Even their expression becomes more and more sour, resentful, and unhappy as I proceed towards what promises to be the first fateful photograph. Towards the first pages, what was once the sunny beauty of a pure girl has given way to an old woman so embittered as to let evil shine through every pore of her skin wrinkled by the passage of time. Even the dog takes on an increasingly bestial and terrifying appearance as the years devour it, even surrounded by bloody offal of all kinds. But, wait a minute! How can he still be alive? No dog lives that long. Is it possible it's the same dog? As I turn the page again, not without anxiety, I begin to wonder what the first photograph in the album could be, also because, now, there is only a single turning point left to reach it. First, however, I cannot help but notice the dissimilarity of the images I am observing. An old mountain chalet is flooded with the intense light that emanates from a sparkling summer day in the high mountains. All around there is desolation. A desolation very similar to the one I feel here, on the shore of this grey sea. Yet, at the same time, so different. In particular, all around the chalet, I notice a group of rocks. There is something very strange about these rocks. Above them you can see a sinister dark mass. But what? But that is the corpse of a German shepherd completely mummified and half charred on the rock by the scorching sun. He looks like a macabre statue. With trepidation, I finally turn the page for the last time. My heart beats in my throat. Next to the cover I find the first photo, the one that gave rise to all the others. It's the monstrous, cadaverous head of a witch. But, wait a moment. OMG. It is not possible. She's not dead. She moves. She's staring right at me. I wake up with a start. A few days later, my father died of illness. It was an unexpected misfortune, especially considering that I had lost track of him for years. Personally, for reasons that would take a long time to explain here, I wished him dead many times. Perhaps this is precisely why that witch, now fused with the rock, seemed to be staring at me so intently. She is my black soul, once innocent, beautiful and sunny, then corroded by the sense of guilt and the terror of death.